Hey, good morning, guys. Now time for the Okeechobee Fish Report. The lake level this morning was 1310, folks. It's coming down a little faster than it did the last couple of weeks. It seemed like it was like 1319 just a day or two ago. So it's dropping pretty fast. And cold weather. We've had some very, very cold weather. I've got to do a lot of ride-alongs, and thank goodness the folks just really want to ride around and find some places where they can fish and where the water really looks good. And we did that. I had 2 trips yesterday. Took a gentleman out in the morning and showed him some of the stuff that I do and check his boat out, see what his boat is. I was really impressed with his boat. He had a 21-foot Ranger, and it actually came up on plane better jacked up than tucked all the way down. But so his boat fished very, very well. And we got to look at the whole north end of the lake. Man, the water looks good everywhere. He was really impressed with the water quality and everything. And in the afternoon, I had a trip. A gentleman called me and wanted a ride along. And he's going to be in Buckhead Ridge. And I didn't know what kind of boat he had or anything, but he had his whole family here, his wife, all of his kids. He even had a 2-year-old that he wanted to take out. Now that's important that I know all the information about the people that come down, basically what kind of boat, because if I take them out, I want to show them, places that's going to meet their needs. And with his whole family in the boat, he had the Metal Ranger boat, center console, nice boat. It's great for a family. It's a big boat. And but you don't want to take them out in a lot of rough water. You don't want to make a long run. So I convinced him. I had just a little time, didn't have a lot of time. I said, in a couple hours, I can show you some stuff. So anyway, he drove and pulled his boat over to Harney Pond Canal. I took him out, showed him some places very close where he's not going to have to worry about, rough water or anything like that. And they're going to be fishing tomorrow. And he had a convention, I believe, today he had to go to. But it's going to be feasible for him to do that. So I'm sure he's pretty happy that knowing he can go out there and not tear his boat up and hopefully catch a few fish. So anyway, we called Jack. He's going to do a little bit of shiner fishing. So we called Jack at Big Water Bait and Tackle. And he's going to be waiting for him when they get over to get the bait. But anyway, that's kind of what I did yesterday, off today. And needed a day off. I got a lot of work to do around the house here. So I got to, I'm not having to deal with my boat because I've been going in these other guys' boats the whole time. I have not really. I guess I don't need a boat anymore for what I'm doing, but it's working out really, really good. And the thing about it, I'm meeting a lot of folks in our area and that live, maybe on the coast and want to come over here and fish Lake Okeechobee. And I don't have to get my boat out because I want to see their boat and show them, what they need to get out there and fish. So I'm meeting a lot of local folks, basically, and meeting a lot of new friends. And the gentleman I fished with yesterday morning, he's going to come back when we have a good calm day. We're going to go out in the middle of the lake. I mentioned this last week. I'd like to have someone that wants to go out and just go on a venture out there in the lake and look and see what's going on out there. Not necessarily to catch fish, but how I hunt fish. And that's a big deal here. You got to do a lot of looking around. That lake level is going to be below 12 feet here real soon. We got that dual threat tournament coming next week. That's a new circuit. It's a team tournament. Pays $100,000 to the winner, $5,000 entry fee, I believe. And so that's a new concept of tournament fishing, and looking forward to see how that goes. Got a good friend of mine that I've guided quite a bit and guided a lot of his family members. He's actually fishing the tournament, and he owns this hat, Buffalo Creek Explosives. And I was kind of kidding around with him the other day. I said, you ought to put a wrap on your boat, promoting your company. Maybe you can write that off, advertising, and here's what I told him you ought to put on there. You ought to put, a few sticks of dynamite, maybe a few fish, on there, some bass and a few sticks of dynamite. And say, if the fish don't bite, call Buffalo Creek Explosives. And I think that would get everybody's attention, I guarantee you. So I guarantee you, a lot of people be talking about that. And what is marketing? Hey, get people to talk about and think about your products. Dynamite. I'm telling you, we could use that sometimes on Okeechobee. We got some dynamite holes out on Lake Okeechobee. So Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth on that. But bottom line is, tell you what, it's cold weather. It makes it really, really tough on fishing. Fish don't like it when it gets cold here, but they can be caught. Maybe you're not going to catch those 30-pound bags, but you're gonna catch some fish if you get in all the right places. But I had a question the other day. A gentleman asked me, the guys fishing this tournament next week. I think the dual threat. I think their practice starts tomorrow. I may be wrong about that, but I think that's what it is. And then people want to know, what do they need to kind of research? Well, you need an extended weather forecast. You're going to need to know what the weather's going to be like next weekend. We got a new moon coming up. If we get a warming trend, it could be some good spawning fish. If we got a cold front coming, you need to know that too. So that's the kind of questions that you need to be answered. And you can go to National Weather Service possibly and get a very extended forecast, maybe goes weeks into the future. So, there's a lot of science goes into our weather. But anyway, that's my 2 cents worth this morning. If you want me to get in your boat, ride around with you, show you what I do on Lake Okeechobee, and show you where you can go out there and fish and not have to worry about, leaving part of your boat out there in some of those rocky areas, you can give Deb a call, 239-560-2704. And I'll be glad to get in your boat. I'll grab a couple of rods and we'll go out there and do a little fishing. And I'll show you some of the places you need to be looking at. But call Deb, 239-560-2704. And I'll be able to get in your boat to do that. But anyway, got to thank Okeechobee County for making it possible for me to give you all these tips. Visit OkeechobeeCounty.com. They got a laser show coming up. You need to check them out. I'm telling you, this is going to be a big deal. And, of course, Lakeshore Marine, Power Pole, Clueston Golf Course. Bring your clubs when you come down here. Joanne Jordan State Farm Insurance, the Bait Station, North Fort Myers, K&M Drugs. Still hadn't got my flu shot yet, but, a lot of people don't like, getting vaccines, but I think that's something that I've always gotten a flu shot. It hasn't hurt me at all. Maybe kept me from getting the flu or getting very, very sick if you get the flu. And Pogie's Family Restaurant, they open early for our anglers getting ready to go angle. Been saying that for a long time. RV1 Mobile Repair. If you have a problem with your RV, dial this number, RV1 Fix My RV. Well, guys, that's going to do it. Y'all stay warm. We got another little cool. It's going to warm up today and maybe tomorrow, and then it's going to cool down again. So you got to look at that extended forecast if you're fishing some events coming here like a week away. So that's something that I would be looking at anyway if I was fishing the tournaments. But anyway, I guess that's why people want to listen to my report. They want to know what I want to do, whether I'm right or wrong. I have a system for what I like to do, and maybe it'll help a few of you folks. Anyway, y'all go fishing and stay hooked up.